Yeah, man!
Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you beef, broad beans, brown stew. So you're gonna need a can of broad beans. This is a 300-gram can. Broad beans, tablespoon of sea salt, tablespoon of dried parsley, tablespoon of dried basil or fresh, a teaspoon of rosemary grinded fine, half a teaspoon of pimento berries dried, oregano, a teaspoon of oregano or half a teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of marjoram, 2 whole cloves, half scotch bonnet pepper, a stalk of scallion, 1 or 2 small tomatoes, 1 medium-sized onion or 2 small onions, and a couple grinds of nutmeg. Springtime, piece of ginger. I'm using a small carrot too, but it's optional. Half a teaspoon of jerk sauce and a tablespoon of soy sauce and 1 pound of stew beef or beef stew. So we're gonna prepare our ingredients. This place, add 1, add 2. So this is parsley. Measure and add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. Any of these herbs you can use them fresh. Put half in add 1, half in add 2. 1 tablespoon of sweet basil. Half in add 1, half in add 2. You need 2 whole cloves, 1 in each container. Half a teaspoon of oregano, a tablespoon of marjoram, half of the tablespoon in add 1, and the other half in add 2 homemade rosemary. So you want about a teaspoon. Grind the rosemary fine. About half a teaspoon pimento berries. Add half of it and add 1. Now, just peel the onion. Remove the first layer of the onion, which is the skin. First layer of the onion is the strongest. So just remove the skin. So what I like to do is to chop the onion in half and then peel it. That way when I'm dicing it, it's easier to handle. Alright, the scallion now. Remove the root end and the tips and all dying leaves. I only have a small amount. But the ingredients call for 1 stalk. Alright, springtime, let's cut the root end off. Tomato, do the same. About a 1/4 inch piece of ginger. Peel the ginger and make sure it's. Now rinse your vegetables, fresh water. Do the same for these vegetables. Put half dice and chop and put half put all the scallion and add 2. Onion, chop and dice and put half of the onion in each of the container. Tomato, just put it in container 2 for now, as well the pepper. Dice the tomato, dice the onion, put half and add 1, half and add 2. Why am I adding the ingredients twice? This is natural cooking. In natural cooking, kind of have to make sure when you add the seasonings, you add them at the right time. If you add them too early, your food can be fresh. I just used half a teaspoon or half a tablespoon of jerk sauce. Now the carrot is optional. Scrape and clean the carrot properly. Just add 1, add 2. Cover it and put it aside today. If I wasn't adding the ingredients twice, add it near to the end, 20 minutes before finish cooking. Add all the ingredients then. This is a pound of stewed beef or beef stew that I bought in the wholesale. This is new. I usually buy it in the supermarket. I bought a piece last week and it was good. So I have this idea for a stew beef. So I'm gonna do one. So this is a stew beef. It's frozen. It's been fresh. So that's what you want. You want to cut the stew beef or the beef stew in chunks. 1-inch chunks. Drizzle a couple drops of white vinegar, add water, rinse it off ever so lightly. Pour the water and throw it off same time, as I usually don't wash meat. But because I bought these in the wholesale and a lot of people handle them, so I said, alright, let me rinse it off. Still frozen, but I'm gonna prepare it same. I'm gonna show you what to next. Put to heat a pressure cooker. Put the stove's gauge on. Put the stove's gauge on 4, medium, just so that we won't forget. Measure and add 1 tablespoon of sea salt. Add it to container 1. Just allow the pot to get dry. After 2 minutes, add oil. This little scoop, this spoon that I'm using measures 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup cooking oil. Use coconut oil, preferably. Allow it to stay 30 seconds to a minute. These beef chunks or frozen somewhat. So I'm gonna allow the, the, the browning of the beef to defrost it. Alright, add a piece of ginger. Oh, I forgot. We're gonna need around 8 garlic cloves. Take the garlic cloves apart, peel and cut the ends off. And then trim any little spoilage, any little brown spots you might see. Add those 2 pieces of garlic to the beef, to the pot. After 2 minutes, stove gauge is on 4, medium. Just kind of see if it can move. If it can't move, don't force it. But what can move, you kind of shift it a little and allow. It has been 5 minutes. I didn't move it. I didn't do anything else. Allow it to burn. Do as you see me doing and kind of rotate it. Now it would be easier to move. And now it's defrost. It's best to defrost it before you start cooking, but I know that if you do this, it's gonna defrost before I start pressure cooking it. So that's important. You gotta make sure it's defrost before you pressure cook it. So kind of flip the beef chunks to the side that's not frying. I just removed the garlic because I don't want the garlic to burn and get black. So do as you see me doing and kind of mash your fried garlic. And add it to add 1 ingredient. Now add your chopped onions to the beef in the pressure cooker and kind of give it a stir and allow the onions to saute. A minute later, add the ingredients in container, add 1. The dried herbs and so forth. Add 1 teaspoon of browning. Add the browning, then stir it in, and then add water. Between 3.5 cups of water, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and then stir it in. You just need maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of grinded nutmeg. I can't find my grinder, so I'm just using this knife to grind. Get your pressure cooker's lid hot. Make sure the rubber is in properly. Okay. Now put the lid on the pressure cooker properly. And then you use this nozzle. You gotta be very careful when you're using a pressure cooker because it can hurt you. If you use it properly, it won't hurt. It's allowed. Once it starts to whistle, you're gonna time it. It's gathering pressure. Once it starts to whistle, put the stove gauge on 20 minutes. The timer. Put your timer for 20 minutes. Stove gauge is on 4. Medium. That's allowed. While we wait for that, just get your can opener and open the can of broad beans. If you don't want to use the broad beans, you can get fresh broad beans. Just soak the broad beans, rinse them off properly, make sure they're clean, and soak it in water, enough water, for at least 30 minutes, and then you pressure cook those in 4 cups of water for the same 18 minutes. With this can now, just remove the water and kind of rinse the beans. Remember now, with this can, put it aside for later. And remember, put the cut end the can in towards the wall so that we won't have any accident. 20 minutes. Once the time is finished, just remove the pressure cooker from the flame so it cools faster. If you're in a hurry, you run this part over running water until the aerosol releases. Don't ever lift the nozzle up. To me, the flavor escapes that way. While we wait for our pressure cooker to cool, separate the garlic, tomato, carrot, and the pepper. This is add 2. Ingredients, add 2. Put to eat medium-sized saucepan. Saucepan I fried some chicken in earlier, so I'm just using the same saucepan. Put your pressured beef chunks in a saucepan. You can stew it down in the same pressure cooker, but put the stove's gauge on 4. I think it's medium low. 5 is medium. 4 is medium low. Add ingredients, add 2. When you're disorganized, you don't have to worry about what you didn't add. Now the garlic. Grind the garlic to puree. First, add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And grind the garlic to puree. So I'm using 8 cloves of garlic. This is a tomato. Just dice and slice a tomato. And add that as well. The carrot and the pepper, we're going to add it near to the end. Give your pot a stir. Small little stir. Use the pan's lid. Cover the pot properly and allow. It's been 10 minutes. I didn't open it. I leave the lid on within the time. Stove's gauge is on 4, medium low. Just allow it to simmer. This is what it looks like. I forgot to show you that the beef was tenderized. So here you go. Guess I'm confident. Just allow. 20 minutes now. This is what it looks like. Keep the lid on. Don't open your pot every minute to make the flavor escape. Now would be a good time to remove the thyme sticks. They tend to splash. Right, so make it simmer down to gravy. Cut your scotch bonnet pepper, add half scotch bonnet pepper. Kind of watch it, keep it on the surface because we're going to remove it shortly. Oh, remember my pickled scotch bonnet pepper. It's been 1 year since I've been using it and it's finished now. While the beef stew simmers, cut the carrot in little wheels. We're going to add the broad bean near to the end. You can smell the aroma. It's like you can smell the aroma. Stove's gauge is on 4, medium low. Remember now, keep the pot's lid on within the time. It's been 28 minutes and it's thickening. See how it's thickening? Now would be a good time to remove the pepper. If you like spicy food, you can leave it in. It's our gravy. It's thickening and the aroma is awesome. You can use 1 to 2 tablespoons of ketchup, but I'm not going to today. It's on the pure beef stew. Let's cover it and allow. 30 minutes later, this is what beef stew looks like. Add broad beans. These broad beans are very soft, so I'm gonna stir in the pot gentle. Add your diced carrot as well. Cover the pot, allow simmering. 35 minutes. You can turn the stove's gauge up on 6, medium high, if necessary. We do this so that the water evaporates and thicken the gravy faster. Once the stew starts to stick to the pot's bottom, that's a sign to say it's ready. That's it. Finish. I just want to show you something. Look, so it's thick and rich. That's what you want it to look. Not watery looking. You want it to be thick. I didn't use Irish. This is just pure beef gravy. This is our beef stew. For leftovers, you can put it in the refrigerator bottom for about a day or 2 and freeze it up to a year. But you gotta seal it properly in a container and freeze it. You take a scoop of your delicious beef broad bean brown stew and place it on a bed of rice. So this is beef, broad bean, brown stew. Visit JamaicanDinners.com for the recipe. Share, like, comment, and cook it yourself. You won't regret it. Very flavorful and satisfying. I hate to bring this up now, but you see when you cook for yourself, you have a better bowel movement. I don't know how to explain this part. This is our beef stew. So this is our beef stew. Juicy and tender. All the herbs and vegetables just make one blend of and give this one nice juicy stew. And then adding the broad beans is kind of different because most people don't really cook this way. They cook it with Irish potato or alone. Let's feed for a couple slices of tomato. Like I said, the herbs blend nice. Really blend good in this meal. The beef is tender and juicy. See, last week I bought a piece of this beef from the same wholesale and it was good. It's good again today. The thing that disappoints me somewhat is the broad bean. It's kind of soft and not that pleasant at all, but it's what it is. I'm not going to get into the brand. I'll just leave you all to figure that out for yourself. I want to really say something about the brand, but I'm not going to. Previous video I did say something about a specific brand, but I'm not going to say anything on this video. All I have to say, it's not like one time when we used to have one company. Now we have so much other company, and the only reason why I bought this can is because it didn't have the brand that I wanted. I was afraid the quality wasn't going to be good, and it wasn't. If you're getting it free, fine. But once you're spending your money, man, you should get good things. And you should demand it too. If you don't want to demand it, at least exercise your right. Don't buy it. There's so much other options and the good quality products are out there. Don't buy the inferior products. Buy the quality, and it's not about cost. Sometimes the product that costs less is the better product. Not in clothes still, but with food. Alright, see you later, bye. Remember this one thing. Food is food. What most people pay for is the name brand. You can get that same product for less. The product that costs a lot of money, you can get the same product on a different name brand for less. Only with food. Clothes name brand quality differs.
Yeah, man!